Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Well, week 2 of college football is in the books, and I'll be joined again by my podcast co host, Jason DiRienzo. We're going to give you 4 college stock up players and 4 college stock down players. All right. Some guys have exceeded expectations, and some guys are disappointing after week 2. Not to hit the panic button, but again, just to take a look at their values and where they are. So you play Devy, you play C2C, hit that subscribe button. You're going to love these shows. And if you play Dynasty, these are future players that you might be drafting in your upcoming rookie draft. So hit that subscribe button. Help me grow the channel. Got all sorts of great college football content on here. And as soon we are going to be digging into the 2025 NFL draft. Thanks for watching. So, all right, Jason, let's discuss our Devy stock players after week 2. I'm going to kick us off, and I'm going to talk about Mr. DJ Lagway. All right. Got his first start. All right. Now, you might say to yourself, why is he a Devy stock up? I mean, he's one of the, he's an incoming freshman. He's one of the top quarterbacks. Well, I don't know. For a first performance, I had to just put him in my stock up because I think he at least solidified himself as a really, quality asset moving forward. But I know it was Samford. I actually cut up his game on Sunday morning and put it out on the YouTube channel. So go check that out if you want to watch all of his receptions, all of his rushing attempts. But he was pretty solid. I mean, across the board, 26 attempts, 18 completions, 69% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. Showed his ability with his legs. But again, threw with the ball, really nice on the run, had some really nice deep throws. So, stock up for DJ Lagway. I think he was really impressive. The big question is Graham Mertz going to start? And the coach said, I think we're going to use both moving forward. I don't think Mertz is going to lose his job again. It was Samford. But go take a look at the film on the YouTube channel. If you got him in your C2C, your Devy leagues, I got 1 share. So it was a good first performance for DJ Lagway. So, and I think it's a good decision not to put him, to play him and start him. And I think you should just lean on Mertz a little bit and not immerse him too much into there, but use him, and give him his plays out there each week.
Yeah, he brought life to this team. I mean, I don't care who the competition was, and that's exactly what they needed. He was getting Aiden Mizell on board. He got what was it? Elijah Badger looked pretty good, and
yeah,
freaking.
exactly.
I just like what he was doing, so that's a great call. I have Ryan Wingo, the Texas wide receiver, and I know you just talked about him just briefly, but I think this is a kid that side speed combo is what the NFL loves, and seeing a kid who can take a carry and run it for 55 yards. That's a pretty big deal, as far as the receiver position. And then you can also tell that he's going to be able to stack defenders pretty easily with that acceleration speed that he has. And he has the size, if needed, to be great in contested catch situations. I really like the route that he had on the outside where he faked the out route and then went to the go and was able to contort his body to the ball and make it a tremendous catch. So Wingo to me is definitely on the rise in Devy.
I like it. I'm going to go with a very similar player, an incoming freshman wide receiver. And I want to talk about Bryant Wesco is my second stock up player. Again, I just started a new series on the YouTube channel where I took the highlights from his game against App State. I know it was App State, but he was 3 targets, 3 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. And I kind of cut up his film and narrated a little bit, kind of gave you guys some analysis. So go check that out on the YouTube channel. But I'll tell you what, man, he caught a long bomb pass. I think it was like 70 yards, 60 yards, something like that in the first series of the game, which I thought was really impressive that the guy was out there as a freshman and they took a shot early in the game with him. And, Clemson is just in dire need of a vertical threat wide receiver. This guy's got the wheels. He flashed in the spring game with that corner route, he caught that beautiful pass. So there's a lot to be excited about with Bryant Wesco, but the fact that he's a freshman and he's getting on the field, I know it was App State and they got a big lead. I mean, Klubnik really rebounded as well in this game. I mean, he had 5, I think, TDs in this game, but Bryant Wesco looked really solid. And I think he's going to get some run this year a lot. They've got great slot receivers with Antonio Williams, Tyler Browns, but I think Wesco is going to stretch the field for this team. And I think he's going to bring a new element. I think his stock is on the rise.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good before the season started in some of those opportunities that he had, and this is just great to see. So that's a good call. I'm going to go with UCF running back RJ Harvey, who I haven't really talked about much. I don't think we've actually talked about him much on
Mm-mm,
this
I
show.
don't think so.
And after watching some of his game film, I mean, I am impressed. I'm a little concerned about the overall long speed, some of the athleticism, but he seems like a very intelligent runner, like a guy who understands exactly how to maneuver around defenders, run between the tackles in the trenches, go to the perimeter as needed on the outside, and just use that subtle footwork to elude and evade. He's highly productive. He's already got 6 touchdowns on the season this year, had over 1,300 touchdowns, and I'm sorry, 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns last year. So this is just a kid who just keeps being productive. We've seen UCF, put out some talent. I think Latavius Murray is the last one I can think of, but he did pretty well for a guy that we weren't really having on the radar in Devy at that point either. So Harvey, to me, he's got that Devon. Yeah, it's kind of like DeAndre Swift type size, 5'8", 5'9", like 208, 209 ish. It'd be great to see him put on some weight, but I think RJ Harvey's a guy that we probably need to talk about a little bit more because all this kid does is just produce at this point.
Yeah, and he's a senior. I'm not sure he has a year of eligibility
Right.
left. Probably does, but there's some guys talking about him as a late day sleeper next year. So
I could see it. Yeah, I could see that.
possibly. All right, there's our 4 stock up Devy players. So unfortunately, we're going to talk about stock down players, and of course, I'd like to have a
Yep.
caveat here. That doesn't mean that we're telling you to go out and sell these players, but we're going to talk about players that maybe just aren't living up to the billing. The first guy I want to talk about is Oscar Delp. Through 2 games, he's basically has not had very much involvement. He hurt his ankle, but there just doesn't seem to be going to the tight end position right now, and I think they're going to be rotating. And Lawson Lucky is getting a lot of the the passes out of the tight end room. So again, the reason I have him really as my Devy stock down is because he's going to be in I think college for another year. There's no way he's going to be a 2025 draft eligible
I
tight
can't
end. I mean,
imagine.
he's eligible, but he's going to be a 2026 tight end. So he's got to get over his injury, and until he really starts getting into the game plan on a regular basis, I'm not sure how much we're going to see of Oscar Delp on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's really a shame because that's a kid I really liked a lot. Um, I'm going to go over to Oregon and I'm going to talk about a receiver who has not done anything. And he was a really highly regarded recruit. And that is Jurrion Dickey. I really expected something from Dickey. I loved the high school film. I thought he had it all. I liked the size, the route running, catching ability, just his contested catch ability above the rim looked great. Nothing has translated. He's dealt with injuries and he just hasn't performed. And without any stats, without any game film, I have I have to do what I got to do, and he's probably going to be out of my top 100 at this point until I see something. So hopefully Dickey comes on, but as right now, he's definitely a stock down, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's just not, getting any run right now, right? I
No,
mean, this
nothing.
is the time. I
No,
mean, at least to get some stats, on the stat sheet would be nice.
right.
My second stock down
Anything.
player, anything. Yeah. My second stock down player is Gavin Sawchuk. Now, when I watched him
Mm.
last year, he was not a player that I was really overly excited about. He showed this extreme patience when he ran. And one thing I remember watching his film from last year, and kind of as we alluded to earlier in the pod, was Tatum, what we think is going to be the guy, and Barnes was out last year, so I think Sawchuk had his little moment, but Barnes is back, and I think he's going to be the third one. They might rotate backs, as you alluded to, with the offensive line issues and stuff like that. But Gavin Sawchuk, I think some people were excited about this year, maybe being that explosive running back for Oklahoma. But I think you're right. I think Tatum's is the guy with the pedigree and the talent,
Yeah.
and he's going to end up taking over that backfield.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And my last guy, it's a running back, man. It's a running back I love, and I had a bold prediction that he was going to be RB2 this year behind Justice Haynes, and that is not happening because Jim Miller's nasty and looking good. Richard Young, I got to move him way, way, way down from where I had him. He is not doing anything. He's averaging like 1 point something yards per carry. Just the opportunities that he has had, he's not doing anything with them. And Jim Miller is just exploding this year. We should probably start talking about him a little bit more with the way he's been looking. But Richard Young to me is obviously another stock down that breaks my heart.
Yeah, those Alabama running backs can be tough. I mean,
They're tough.
same with
Yeah.
Georgia because they have so many good ones. There's only so many guys that can get on the field, but don't give up
Yeah.
yet. Good stock
I'm
down.
not giving up yet.
Yeah,
but
certainly
I
understandable.
gotta do what I gotta do. You know?
You got to do what you got to do. All right, there you guys got it. There are our 8 Devy stock players for week 2.